What if the most terrifying monster wasn't the one that burned your world, but the one that whispered just enough poison to make you burn it yourself? In the wild heart of Middle-earth, a new darkness wakes. Not the greed of Smaug, hoarding gold in his sleep, but something far more dangerous. A beast that hoards agony, feasts on confusion, and leaves nothing behind but broken trust. This is Glaurung, Morgoth's first and deadliest dragon. His fire is legend, but his true weapon is subtler. He turns love into fear, memory into a trap, and doubt into a curse you can never shake. Tonight, we follow a poison that twists heroes into victims, turns family into strangers, and teaches even the bravest heart to doubt what is true. Tonight, we don't just face a dragon, we face the lie that waits in all of us. Welcome back to Monsters as Mirror. Last time, we braved the curse beneath the gold, Smaug, the dragon of appetite and greed. But tonight, we descend deeper, to the First Age, where lies become curses, and monsters are more than myth. Why do dragons haunt our oldest stories? Tolkien himself answered, "The dragon is not a distraction from the story. It is the story." For Tolkien, monsters weren't window dressing. They were the blazing heart of legend, engines of fate and tragedy. He confessed even as a boy, "I desired dragons with a profound desire." So when he imagined Glaurung, he wasn't just inventing a beast, he was making an argument. A monster's voice can shape and shatter the destiny of heroes. Glaurung isn't background, he is Tolkien's living thesis. Monsters drive the machinery of meaning. The dread of Glaurung lay on them, but it was not fire alone they feared. It began as rumor, strange tracks in ash, scouts who never returned. Some whispered a new terror had slipped from Morgoth's fortress. Few believed, until the ground shook and the sky caught fire. Glaurung's arrival changed everything. His breath boiled rivers, his tail toppled towers, forests vanished in flame, whole armies broke at the sight of his shining scales. Elves called it the Battle of Sudden Flame. Night was torn apart, and Morgoth's hosts, led by Glaurung, poured into Beleriand like a living storm. Those who survived spoke in broken whispers. The dread that crawled before him was like a second shadow, one that crept into your bones and never left. A captain of Hador's house remembered. "We saw a shape in the smoke, a serpent, vast as a mountain's spine, burning with gold. Those who stood against him were lost to fire. Those who fled felt the darkness follow them home." But the horror was only beginning. With every conquest, Glaurung was learning. His path led to Nargothrond, an elven stronghold hidden deep in the hills. There, he broke more than stone. He broke spirits. He halted defenders with a glare, then spoke dark words that made the bravest falter and friends turn upon each other in fear. Heroes doubted their own courage. Allies argued in panic. Nargothrond was lost before the flames began to rise. It was here Glaurung found his greatest weapon was not fire, but words. But what Glaurung could not destroy with flame, he would unmake with words. This is where dread becomes poison, and the true war moves from battlefield to mind. Glaurung's greatest weapon was not his flame. It was the venom in his speech, the dark sorcery in his gaze. And now, for the first time, he set his sights on a mortal who would become his greatest adversary. Túrin, son of Húrin. Túrin carried a terrible burden. His family lay under Morgoth's curse, a doom that promised suffering to all who bore Húrin's blood. Already, it had driven Túrin from kingdom to kingdom, leaving tragedy in his wake. When dragon and man finally met, Glaurung did not roar, he whispered. Words like smoke found every crack in Túrin's heart, curling around wounds old and new. Thankless fosterling, outlaw, slayer of your friend, thief of love, usurper of Nargothrond, captain foolhardy, and deserter of your kin. Each insult was a blade, each accusation a link in an invisible chain. Túrin flinched. Pride told him to resist, but doubt was already creeping in. Glaurung twisted every memory, made shame feel like destiny. But it wasn't only magic that bound Túrin. It was his own nature, his need to prove himself, his habit of turning from counsel, his secret fear that the curse was real. Glaurung exploited every weakness, but Túrin stepped willingly into the web. Then came the deeper wound. Glaurung hissed that Túrin's mother and sister suffered in misery because of him. He conjured images of their pain, painting with words what fire could not scorch. Túrin's defiance wavered. A brave heart, battered by guilt, began to accept the dragon's lie as truth. Years passed. The web grew wider. When Nienor, Túrin's sister, left the safety of Doriath to search for her lost family, she too fell into Glaurung's path. One glance, and time seemed to freeze. She stood staring at Glaurung, and slowly her will was drawn from her, and she could not move, nor think, nor look away. In that moment, memory unraveled. The world blurred. Nienor forgot her name, her family, everything. She became a ghost, wandering, haunted by a fear she couldn't name. Here was Glaurung's true mastery, not of armies, but of the soul. His lies were threads, his words a web, spun tighter with every poisoned whisper. He didn't crave gold, he hoarded agony, feeding on the unraveling of lives. And as the web closed around both siblings, the dragon watched, silent, golden, savoring his own handiwork. What happens when the lie becomes the only reality left? The answer waits in the next turn of the web. Slowly, the falsehoods accumulate. At first, just a word, a small doubt, a twist of fate. But then, the venom seeps deeper. Túrin once dreamed of glory, carried hope like a sword. But now, every triumph is recast as betrayal. Every act of courage becomes a source of guilt. Each past tragedy weighs heavier on his mind. He questions everything. Was Beleg, his dearest friend, lost because of his own fatal mistake? Did Finduilas, the elven maiden who loved him, suffer because he lingered, always too late to save? Is he truly cursed, or simply a man lost in a web of his own making? This is where Túrin's tragedy is most human. He's not just a puppet of doom. He is fierce, stubborn, and rash. Quick to anger, slow to trust. He pushes away Morwen, his mother, with sharp words and silence. He meets Brandir, the lame lord of Brethil, who offers him sanctuary and friendship, with suspicion, mistaking kindness for envy. Sometimes, in the dark, Túrin argues with himself. Is he hunted by fate, or haunted by the lies he cannot forget? As each relationship frays, the web tightens. Not only around Túrin, but everyone who dares to care for him. Morwen, wandering the wilds, her hope fading. Finduilas, weeping in the enemy's halls, her song silenced. Brandir, whose desperate truth about Túrin and Nienor is met with rage and, in the end, death at Túrin's own hand. There comes a moment when the poison is everywhere and the web is complete. Then Túrin perceives that all the lies of Glaurung had ever led him astray. In the end, Túrin is a hero only in song. Inside, he is drowning in doubt, a legend unraveling from within. And in that tightening web, hope is the first thing to vanish. Nienor's journey began with courage. She slipped into the wild, determined to find her lost family, driven by hope, refusing to yield to fear. But hope is a fragile shield when Glaurung is hunting. One look from the dragon, and her story vanished. She became a shadow, her name stolen, her mind emptied. Nameless, haunted by terrors she could not remember, she wandered the woods, a ghost in a living world. When at last Nienor stumbled upon Túrin, neither recognized the other. But in the ruins of their lives, they found an unlikely shelter, two lost souls clinging together against the gathering dark. Their love was fragile, desperate, and doomed, a flicker of light that dared to grow in the dragon's shadow. For a heartbeat, life seemed possible. They laughed. They planned. For a moment, the world almost felt whole. But Glaurung's poison works in silence, and doom does not sleep. Every day, the web tightened. A chill in the wind, a shadow at the window, an unspoken dread that no happiness could ever last. They did not know what waited at the edge of memory, only that something terrible circled, drawing closer with every breath. Then, the day of reckoning. Glaurung was wounded at last, and the spell was broken. Memory came flooding back, too late. Nienor remembered everything, her name, her kin, her love for her brother, and the horror that bound them. She screamed, a cry that tore through the forest, the kind that makes the world itself flinch. She ran, blind, broken, consumed by terror and shame, until despair swallowed her, and the tale ended in a leap into darkness. Túrin awoke to silence and ruin. In a moment, the truth, Glaurung's masterpiece, was laid bare. Every step, every choice had been twisted by the dragon's will, and by Túrin's own refusal to see. Brandir, the gentle lord who tried to warn them, lay dead by Túrin's hand, a final act of rage and blindness. Bretil, the last refuge, was now a tomb echoing with unanswered cries. This is not double despair. This is a shattering. Nienor's scream, Túrin's silence, a world torn in two by grief so deep it cannot be named. And somewhere, the last coils of Glaurung's web tighten, ready to snap. This is the end of every lie. Túrin comes, not as a savior, not as a hero, but as a man broken by doubt, stripped of every illusion, his heart raw from love and loss. All that remains is vengeance. Glaurung writhes in the mud, yet his eyes burn with terrible knowing. Lightning glances off his golden hide, illuminating the ruin that surrounds them both. The air is thick with poison, rain, and dread. Túrin staggers closer, every step heavy with regret. Come then, son of Húrin, Glaurung whispers, voice sharp as shattered glass. Come and hear what you truly are. But Túrin, who has lost everything, will not listen to another word. He lifts Gurthang, the black blade, a sword that has tasted too much blood, a sword that knows despair. With a cry that is equal parts fury and grief, Túrin drives the blade home, finding the single soft place beneath the monster's armor. For an instant, time holds its breath. Venomous blood gushes forth, burning Túrin's hand to the bone. He collapses, caught between agony and release. Thunder cracks, the world seems to split, and Glaurung's death shriek tears open the night. But even as his body fails, the dragon's last gift is a final, poisoned truth. He spits out the secret that will destroy all hope. It is too late to save anyone, just in time to ruin everything. To kill a monster is not always to break a curse. Some wounds run deeper than flesh. Some truths wound the soul. And as the rain falls and the river runs dark, the silence that follows is not peace. It is the echo of a dragon's voice, never fully gone. A hollow in the world where hope once lived. In this, the curse reaches its height. A hero stands victorious, and there is nothing left to save. Glaurung is gone. The world is quieter now, soft with dawn mist. The thunder faded, the dragon's voice only a memory on the wind. But not all storms pass when the monster falls. The venom of falsehood lingers, haunting every ruined village, every orphaned child, every song sung in half-remembered grief. Beleriand tries to move on. Mothers warn their children against the voice that offers doom in the shape of wisdom. Bards sing of Túrin and Nienor, not as a warning, but as a lament, a story of love unraveled by doubt and fate. Some survivors clear the fields and plant new hope, but others carry silence as a wound, trust broken, love lost, memory forever uncertain. Glaurung is not just a monster. He is the machinery of fate, the shape of a wound that does not heal. In the lore of Middle-earth, monsters outlive their bodies. Wounds outlive the monsters. Some poisons linger long after the worm is gone. The most dangerous monsters are not those that burn our homes, but those who make us doubt ourselves, those who teach us to mistrust what is true. To face Glaurung is to learn that evil's greatest triumph is not destruction, but doubt. Monsters are not a distraction from the story, they are the story. The curse does not end with the dragon's death. It lives on in the wounds we carry and in the truths we struggle to face. But perhaps, in remembering, in naming the monster and knowing the cost, we find a gentler kind of hope, that truth, once seen, is no longer alone in the dark. But this is not the end. South of Angmar, the land itself remembers. Where the hills are haunted by memory and the earth keeps secrets older than kings, a different kind of terror waits. If Glaurung was the father of lies, the Barrow Wights are the keepers of lost hope, spirits of darkness lying in wait for the unwary. Next time, we follow the thread of fear to the Barrow Downs, where the dead do not rest, and ancient curses whisper in the mist. This is Monsters as Mirror, and our journey through Middle-earth's darkest shadows is far from over.